Hi guys, I'm sorry I can't be there this week. So I'm going to do recording instead. And the story I'm going to do today is called The Tale of the Firebird. It's a Russian fairy tale. This particular version is kind of a combination, I think, of several fairy tales, Russian fairy tales, but I think you'll enjoy it. The Tale of the Firebird by Gennady Spirin and translated by Tatiana Popova. And I don't know who the illustrator is. But so we begin. The Tale of the Firebird. It's got lovely illustrations, this one. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, lived the great ruler Tsar Vasily. He had 3 sons, and the youngest was named Ivan Tsarevich. Tsarevich, I think, is actually a title, but so Ivan Tsarevich, but Ivan is the name part. The Tsar's greatest pride was his garden, filled with exotic trees, and in the center of his garden was the prize of his kingdom, the tree with golden apples. One day, the Tsar's gardener came to report that someone had been stealing the fruits of the golden apple tree. Every night there were fewer apples left. Determined to catch the thief, the Tsar ordered his 3 sons to watch his precious garden through the night. The eldest was in charge on the first night, but he fell asleep and came back to his father the next day with nothing to report. The second son tried to watch the garden on the second night, but he too fell asleep and saw nothing. On the third night, the youngest, Ivan Tsarevich, was sent to the garden. He watched until midnight without falling asleep. Just as his eyes were about to close, a sudden flash of light illuminated the entire garden. A firebird. As soon as the firebird landed on the golden tree, Ivan Tsarevich grabbed for his tail. That would stop him, but it didn't. The firebird flew away, leaving Ivan Tsarevich with a single glowing feather in his hand. And here is. The Tsar was amazed when he saw the miraculous light of the firebird's feather. "I must have this firebird," he said. "Saddle your horses, my dear sons. Whichever of you can catch the firebird will have half my kingdom as a reward." And so the 3 sons rode off, each going his own way. Whether it was a long way or a short way, we don't know. Ivan Tsarevich rode to the edge of a primeval forest where he met a big gray wolf. "You cannot get the wolf. You cannot get the firebird without me, Ivan Tsarevich," said the wolf. "Leave your horse here and saddle me instead. You spared my children in the Tsar's wolf hunt last year, so now I will be your servant and your guide." And so Ivan Tsarevich climbed up on the wolf's back. The wolf made a great leap all the way to the birds in the sky. They flew over the woods and the mountains, over wide rivers, so high that it took Ivan Tsarevich's breath away. Here he is, right in the wolf. Whether their way was long or short, we don't know. But at last they arrived at a land of wondrous gardens and crystal palaces. "Go into the garden, Ivan Tsarevich," said the wolf. "You will see a firebird in a golden cage hanging from the branch of a tree. Take the firebird, but do not touch the golden cage, for it will bring you bad luck." Ivan Tsarevich entered the garden and saw the firebird in its golden cage. As he reached in, the gold was so beautiful that he could not keep himself from touching it. The moment he did, 1,000 of invisible bells began to ring, and an army of guards appeared from nowhere. They grabbed Ivan Tsarevich and took him to the king, King Mahmud. Mahmud recognized the Tsar's younger son. "I would kill any other man who tried to do what you have done, but your father is my friend. For his sake, I will forgive you. You may keep the firebird. However, in exchange, you must go to the faraway land of King Karam and bring me back a horse with a golden mane." Ivan Tsarevich went back to his wolf and told him what King Mahmud had said. "Don't worry, Ivan Tsarevich," said the gray wolf. "I can help you find this horse. But I tell you, next time, do not disobey me." And so Ivan Tsarevich saddled the wolf again, and in 3 great leaps they had reached the sky and were soaring above the clouds. They flew over high mountains, deep seas, and enormous green lands. Okay, flying over the city. Finally, they reached the kingdom of Karam, And the wolf gave Ivan Tsarevich his instructions. Go into the king's garden and you will see a horse grazing upon the meadow. Take the horse by its golden mane and bring it here, but do not touch its harness, for it will bring you bad luck. Ivan Tsarevich did everything as the wolf told him, but when he saw the harness, its golden beauty was so fascinating that he could not resist the temptation to touch it. As soon as he did, there was a sound of 1,000 invisible bells, and at the same moment the guards appeared. They brought Ivan Tsarevich to see King Karam. King Karam looked at Ivan Tsarevich with menacing eyes. Who are you? Why do you want my horse? Ivan Tsarevich told the king his story, holding back no secrets. Karam said, I will give you this horse and his golden harness as a gift, but in return you must go to the kingdom beyond all other kingdoms, the kingdom of Koschei the Immortal, and bring me my sister, Yelena the Beautiful, back to me. Since her capture 3 years ago, my suffering has been endless. Many heroes have lost their heads on Koschei's field on her account. May God help you. Go. Koschei the Deathless is a very famous character in Russian fairy tales. Ivan Tsarevich came back to his wolf in low spirits and told him what had passed. Don't despair, Ivan Tsarevich. A man can die but once, said the wolf. Get ready to go on another journey. I know who can help us. So Ivan Tsarevich saddled the gray wolf once again, and they rushed as fast as they could to the kingdom beyond all other kingdoms, the kingdom of Koschei the Immortal. They flew over dark woods and impassable swamps. Now we are coming to the place where no human has ever set foot, said the great wolf. Baba Yaga the Wicked dwells here. If you want to find Yelena the Beautiful, you must do everything Baba Yaga tells you to. Ivan Tsarevich turned and saw a cottage that spun around on chicken feet in the middle of the dark forest. It spun so fast that he could not see the door to enter. After consulting with the wolf, Ivan Tsarevich stood before this cottage and shouted, little hut, show your front to me and your back to the woods. The cottage immediately stopped spinning and settled down on his chicken feet with the door facing Ivan Tsarevich. He was about to knock at the door when he heard a great thunderclap, and Baba Yaga the Wicked suddenly appeared. Why have you come to visit me, Ivan Tsarevich? She cackled. I think I know. I will help you if you are brave. Baba Yaga gave a shout, and from all corners of the forest, creatures came running. Satyrs, monsters, and other beasts. Baba Yaga ordered them to build a fire and put on a huge cauldron of magical waters and herbs. And when this witch's brew began to boil, she ordered Ivan Tsarevich to take off his clothes and bathe himself in the bubbling cauldron. Ivan Tsarevich crossed himself and jumped in. And then, a miracle. Instead of being boiled like a shrimp, Ivan Tsarevich found himself in the cool water of a forest lake. In the middle of the lake was a little island covered with sedge and moss, and deep in the moss was a glimmer of something shining. He pushed the sedge away. There was a dazzling sword. As soon as Ivan Tsarevich touched its hilt, a magical strength came to him. Ivan Tsarevich stood up and found himself at the edge of the forest, still holding the magical sword. His faithful wolf was waiting for him, all ready with his clothes. You did a good job this time, Ivan Tsarevich, he said. Faster than the wind, they reached the sky, and in the blink of an eye, they were approaching the castle of Koschei. The moment they touched the ground, they heard the sound of a horn and saw Koschei the Immortal, sometimes called Koschei the Deathless, riding up on his horse. I am looking for the sister of King Karam, Ivan Tsarevich told him with his sword resting before him, but Koschei gave a sinister laugh. I can't find a man without a horse. Are you not the son of the Tsar? Yet so poor you don't have a horse? Ivan Tsarevich didn't know what to answer, but the gray wolf whispered, Don't worry, I will help you. Don't worry, I will help you. In a moment, the wolf had transformed himself into a warrior's horse so great and strong that it cannot be described either with words or brush. But here they tried. Koschei the Immortal stopped laughing. Ivan Tsarevich mounted the great warrior horse and drew his magical sword. The battle began. 10 times they drew their swords and charged at each other, but their strengths were evenly matched, and neither could win. Then, just as Ivan Tsarevich was about to make another charge, he spotted Yelena the Beautiful. Her beauty gave him a jolt of power, and his strength was suddenly doubled. Ivan Tsarevich attacked Koschei once more with his magical sword and struck him a final deadly blow. That was the end of the evil Koschei, for evil cannot be immortal. Only love can be immortal. Yelena the Beautiful and Ivan Tsarevich fell in love at first sight. Yelena the Beautiful made a wreath of field flowers and crowned Ivan Tsarevich. And then they saddled the mighty warrior horse, and in less than a moment they had arrived at the kingdom of Karam. Karam ran out of his palace to meet them. Tears streamed from his face at the sight of his beloved sister. He embraced her and Ivan Tsarevich together, saying, I bless your love, my dear children. I am giving my kingdom to you, Ivan Tsarevich, and I want you to be his ruler when I am old. Ivan Tsarevich thanked Karam for his generous gifts and went off to fulfill the rest of his promises. He saddled the horse with a golden mane for Yelena and mounted his warrior horse beside her. Sorry. Together they rode to the kingdom of Mahmud. Mahmud and all his glorious court were overjoyed to see Ivan Tsarevich again and amazed with the beauty of Yelena. The king was so taken with her that he gave her the golden maned horse. He congratulated Ivan Tsarevich on his great happiness and gave him the gift he had promised, the firebird in its golden cage. When Ivan Tsarevich and Yelena the Beautiful returned to the king's stables, they found that the warrior horse had transformed itself back into a gray wolf once again. Here my help ends, Ivan Tsarevich. Be happy. Ivan Tsarevich thanked him, and the wolf vanished into the dark woods. Tsar Vasily was very happy to see his beloved son with Yelena the Beautiful and all the kingly gifts they had been given. The wedding was declared, and the Tsar gave a great feast for everyone in the kingdom, brightened by the light of the firebird. For many, many years afterwards, the people in that part of the world still talked of the wedding feast of the Tsar's youngest son and of the magical power and beauty of the firebird. And that is the tale of the firebird as told by this particular person. I think one of my favorite parts on this one is that the wolf is good. In so many fairy tales, the wolf is evil, but in this case, the wolf was really helpful, and you could tell by the end when Ivan was hugging him that they really formed a great friendship. So that was one of my favorite parts of it. Also, the illustrations are quite beautiful, and we got to see Baba Yaga again. So it's good to see you guys. I will hopefully see you soon, and if I don't see you until the next year, then have good holidays, whatever holidays that your family celebrates. Bye.